Good morning. My name is Sue Davis-Westmoreland, and I'm going to be your class facilitator for today. I'm excited about being here with you today to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, and that has to do with a successful career. I've spent 35 years with a major corporation, mentoring, coaching, and training employees on developing their career and meeting their ultimate goal. And I would like to share some of those experiences with you today. The title of our session is A Roadmap to Success and how to develop that roadmap. Anytime we establish a goal or make a decision to go someplace, we develop a roadmap. There's no different for organizational success as well as individual success. So that's what we'll talk about today. As an icebreaker, because I want to make this fun and I want to get everyone loosened up, I'm going to start with having you introduce yourself and stating one goal that you have, short or long term. For example, for me, I have a short-term goal of visiting Europe and spending 30 days learning about that culture. And I've established steps to get in there and establish a date for making that, which is September 2015. So I've done a roadmap, and I'm going to talk to you about how to develop individual or organizational roadmaps. So the icebreaker will be asking each of you to introduce yourself, as I've done, and stating a short or long-term goal. Once we do that, the class will have a feel of how individuals set their goals, and then we'll talk through steps to making that goal. Today's objective is to identify ways to ensure success for whatever goal you have established, whether it's individual or organizational. Now, before we start talking about the individual initiatives that you have in place, what I want to do is find out what is your expectation of today's class. So I will ask each participant to state one or two expectations they have, and I will record it over here on the flip chart or on the board if we run out of space. And at the end of the session, we'll come back to make sure that I have met the expectation you have for the class. Okay? So we'll go through each participant, one through the number that's in the class, and everybody will get to say, I expect to get this out of the class. All right, so we've done the icebreaker, we've gotten your expectation. Now let's go into my definition of how to develop a roadmap for success and how to ensure that you achieve the objectives you put in that roadmap. And the approach I use after 35 years with a major corporation, as I mentioned earlier on, is to use a SWOT analysis. And I've used this in my individual organizational planning, and I've also used it in the volunteer work I do for nonprofit organizations. And I will tell you, it works. If you document, follow through on what you documented, make adjustments as you need, you will get to your ultimate goal. So the SWOT analysis approach is very simple. You identify your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. And the way we're going to do that today for each one of the categories is to go to each of the class participants and ask you to identify a strength that you have, or weaknesses that you have, opportunities that you see to ensuring you achieve your goal, as well as identifying a threat that may prevent you from achieving your goal. And we'll ask each one of you to document something in each of those areas. And we'll record it again on the board so you can see that it's tangible and how you can ensure success through the execution of each one of those areas. Strengths are very easy to do. We know what our strong points are. We do it every day, and we're comfortable in using our strengths. Weaknesses are a little bit more complex for us, if you will, to identify with. We know we have weaknesses, but we're uncomfortable sometimes in talking about them. What I challenge you with today is to be comfortable with identifying your weaknesses and putting a plan in place to eliminate that weakness, or to put a structure around you to ensure someone on your team is able to close the gap when it comes to your weaknesses. And I'll give you an example. For me, finance has never been a strong point of mine. So whenever I form a team for a project that I'm working on or leading, I make sure I have a strong finance person who can run the numbers for me, come to me with a summary, and tell me what I need to do to adjust. And having that person on the team has ensured my success. and moving from an entry-level manager all the way up to senior level manager. So I know that that approach works. So I challenge you again today to be comfortable with identifying what your weaknesses are and agreeing on a plan to close them. Opportunities, as you are going through making progress through your roadmap for success, make sure you factor in possible opportunities that you may see out there that you need help in getting someone to ensure you're able to incorporate into your roadmap. An opportunity may be, I aspire to be this type person, have this type role, but in order to do that, I need to get funding to pursue additional education, or I need to get funding to get certification. So that's an opportunity, and you need to bring in the right resources to help you incorporate that opportunity into your roadmap. Threats, again, there's risk associated with threats, but don't be concerned about how do I eliminate threats in my roadmap. The threat simply says there's a risk to you achieving your goal. Now, what do you do from a risk mitigation standpoint to ensure that threat is eliminated? Again, documenting a plan, bringing in people to help you, identifying dependencies that need to be ruled out so that threat now becomes an opportunity or it becomes a strength for you. So that's all you have to do when it comes to threats. So again, the SWOT analysis would be strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. After you've identified all of those, you simply put a plan in place so it's on paper, you can track it, you assign dates to it, you identify dependencies that you have and make sure you work them on a regular basis. And it's okay to adjust the dates if you're getting close to closure and you haven't completed everything. It's okay to adjust the dates. The key is to have a date. So once you do that, you got your plan, you revisit it, you review it, you reassess, but you continue to move forward on your short and long-term goals. Now, that's the approach to take. Let's go back through to see if I met the expectations that we have outlined on the board that you gave me earlier on. Once we do that, we can close the session and start the work on documenting your roadmap for success. I appreciate your time today. You have my contact information. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you and have a wonderful day.